So in this video, we're going to talk about elements combining to form chemical formulas. And when we have the different elements come together, we're going to call those molecules. So this down here is an example of a molecule. So we have Na, which is sodium, the element sodium, put together with C, which is carbon, H, hydrogen, and O, oxygen. So this is a molecule here, which has a chemical formula. So I want you to think about is if you could take any element from the periodic table and cut it down as small as you could get, you'd end up with one little piece, and that would be called an atom. So the atom is the smallest part that you can get of an element. And so on the periodic table, each element is made of a different kind of atom, and that's what gives them those characteristics that make them so different from one another. So if you, for example, if you took aluminum and we cut it down and we got to the smallest piece that we could get of that aluminum, we would call that one atom of aluminum. So we're going to talk about atoms and molecules while we talk about chemical formulas. So for example, if I have C here, the symbol C, we all know that is carbon. So the C by itself is the element carbon, and that means that it is one atom of carbon. But if I add an oxygen to that, I now have a molecule. So this is CO2 is the molecule here. So if I have some numbers, little numbers, you're going to see some little numbers. You might have seen them the other day when you did an activity. We didn't really talk about them, but now we're going to talk about them. So these little numbers mean how many atoms that element has. So in CO2, there's no number after the carbon. So that means there's one atom of carbon. But if you look, there's a 2 after the oxygen. So that 2 means that there are 2 atoms of oxygen. So I've written down here 2 atoms of oxygen. So then I add them all together. 1 atom of carbon plus 2 atoms of oxygen gives me 3 total atoms in this one molecule. Last example is something new, and this is large numbers. So if there's a large number in front of your molecule, that now means that there's more than one molecule. So this 3 means that there are 3 molecules or 3 parts of H2O. H2O is water, right? Hydrogen and oxygen. So what I need to do in order to calculate how many atoms I have in that chemical formula, I'm going to say there are 2 atoms of hydrogen. This little 2 tells me that there are 2 hydrogens. For the oxygen, there's no number here, so that means that there's 1 atom of oxygen. So if I add 2 plus 1, that gives me 3 total atoms, but then I have to remember that there's 3 molecules. So this 3 tells me I have to multiply by this number. So what I got 3 atoms. I need to multiply by 3 because there are 3 of them to give me 9 atoms total. So we are going to be doing a little bit of math, but I think you all can handle it. So we will be digging deeper into chemical formulas.